Yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode's DADI on Spotlight. I'm Regan from DADI Education. Today, we're very lucky to have a very special guest in the US in Irvine Valley College. We have, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Jennette Lona from Irvine Valley College International Student Center.
Amazing. What position do you do? What do you actually help students with?
I'm one of the international counselors.
Okay, so as a counselor, does that mean you only help students in terms of their well-being, or is academic is also part of something that you do as well?
Academic is definitely a part of it. It's actually my main focus of helping the students on the academic track. Of course, if they need assistance with the mental health part or their well-being, we do refer to the Health and Wellness Center, which we actually have located on our campus as well.
Amazing. And it's still very early in the morning. We actually just arrived and we haven't explored the whole campus yet. So do you mind talking a little bit about the college itself, actually, its location, where everything is?
So we're located in beautiful city of Irvine. We're really close to the UC Irvine University, where a lot of our students want to transfer to. But our campus alone is a small campus. I want to say we have about 23,000 students that we serve on a academic year. We have a lot of great programs, a lot of great faculty, and we're an extremely diverse campus with our staff as well as our faculty.
Amazing. Would you know how many international students are in the campus and overall, just the college overall in general?
If I recall correctly, I believe it's approximately around 600.
Oh, wow. So you alone serve like 600 students, just yourself, or you have a big team as well that's helping you with it?
Well, we have two academic counselors in the International Student Center, but technically we have about 40 something counselors overall on
Hmm.
campus. And all of the counselors technically can help the international students. It's just when it gets to the nitty gritty specifics of
Mm,
international requirements that they have to follow, where they would have to see myself or the other counselor, Dalal.
amazing. And from that experience as well, with interacting with a lot of international students, what are the main goals of the international students? Why are they studying at Irvine Valley College?
I have found when I asked them that question, it's because where we located, which is in the city of Irvine. I have found when they have Googled it, the city of Irvine comes up as one of the safest cities
Mm,
in the area, as well as we have the number one transfer rate to UC Irvine as well as other universities. So
amazing.
that makes us a great campus for them to come to first.
Wonderful. Do you mind talking a little bit about transferring, especially in the US system? Because, for us, we recruit students from other countries as well. And we want to see that there is quite a difference. And it's very unique in a way, I would say, in the US education system to have transfer being one of the common ways of going into a university.
Yes, I would say the bulk of our students, not only our international students, our students here in general are here to transfer. So they're here for that transition to come to us for 2 years and earn their 60 units to transfer out to a Cal State, UC, a private, or even out of state. So that seems to be the main students' focus. Not all of them. I mean, some of them are here just to obtain their certificate or to maybe do the prerequisites to go into a professional program, as well as maybe even just to get a degree. But I would say the majority of our students are here to transfer.
Amazing. Do you mind sharing why would students choose to like do a transfer program rather than, completing high school and then apply directly into a university?
I would say for one, it's due to cost. We're definitely going to be cheaper than going straight to the university system, any of our university systems. Plus, I think it gives the students the opportunity to find themselves. It's very
Mm,
hard to know for many students, even adults, to know what do you want to do for the rest of your life. So,
mm.
how are you figuring out that major so soon? So, it gives them the opportunity to explore a little bit, to figure out what they want to do, and then make that transition onto the university. Students tend to want to get their bachelor's degree because it tends to offer more opportunities, more options, especially in the world of work, and especially if they want to continue on to a career that requires a master's degree or even a professional degree. It's giving them that stepping stone.
Wonderful. Would you say that going transfer into university compared to applying directly, it's easier to go through a transfer program, like less competitive in a way?
From looking at the stats, from what I recall, that students are more accepted the transfer route versus the straight out of high school route. And that's because the
Ooh.
universities know that these students are already prepared with what we call their lower division general education classes and or major prep, so that they're already ready for the university to get in and focus on
Oh.
the particular
Mm.
upper division courses that only a university can offer so that they can obtain that bachelor's degree.
Okay, because a lot of like non-US destinations, for an example, a lot of people think that I think our equivalent way of saying in Australia, transfer programs like a diploma, like a foundation through a college, and those usually are for students who academically aren't well performing. That's why they couldn't apply directly, and then that's why they have to go through a pathway program before enrolling into the university. But I think for US, it's like a different mindset. People with good or bad grades will still go through college and then transfer because it's easier as well, and you can still get into prestigious universities, right?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. So it's not just because of they
Mm-hmm.
weren't academically performing. There could be a variety of reasons. But where it tends to be a great route for students that really are trying to find themselves, find the right major, and it is going to be the cheapest cost, whether you're for an international student or a traditional student. Um, it seems to work out really well.
Amazing. Then in terms of the actual program itself at Irvine Valley, then what is it like? Is it more on like a high school level type of, or is it still like a university college level type of program when they're doing the transfer?
It's more like a university type. I have found a lot of students often say that the community college has really prepared them for their upper division university classes. And they say that a lot of times our classes at the community college level, in particular here at IVC, are just as academically rigorous as the university classes. So sometimes they're very surprised when they go into those upper division classes. They sometimes say that it's easier than what it was here at the community college level. So we really are preparing those students to get those foundation courses in and at that academic rigor so that they're prepared for the university.
Amazing. And what do yourself and your position and the team as well? How do they support international students? Like, let's say there's a student that wants to go to US for university, but they don't know what to study, actually, which university to go. How does the process go?
So we tend to ask them what their interests are, because when we meet with students, we don't know like who they are, what their
Hmm.
interests are. So we tend to build that rapport with students and find out what it is that they're interested in and help them explore all avenues. And if at some point they decide to choose one major, we let them know that it's okay to choose another one. It's not set in stone. So we really support them in that aspect. We also have a great career center here on our campus that could help the students explore even further, as well as we offer a career exploration class. And a lot of students, I shouldn't say a lot of students, but there's several students that participate also in the CPT and the OPT, which helps
Mm.
them um, gain that world of work experience. So I think there's a variety of things to do. And then the International Student Office as a whole is very supportive of all those students. And we have our amazing director, Christina, and we have our immigration advisors. There's three of them. And then there's two academic counselors. And then we have a great front staff. So we really try to help students, whether it's one of us or all of us as a team, to get them through and make sure the international students feel
Mhm.
welcome, supportive, and achieve their goals.
I mean, in your experience as well, is there any particular common struggles or questions that a lot of international students ask you for assistance on? Too many.
I find that I'm always really impressed with our international students because I know for myself, I mean, I was born in this country and I can't imagine just going to another country. Oftentimes, I see students like they just got here, today or like yesterday or
Mhm.
last week, and they're like, "Oh, what do I need to do?" And I'm just thinking, like, "Wow, like that." They are so focused, right? But I feel like the students' probably biggest challenge is the language barrier for
Mhm.
some of them, not always, but for some of them, but they are always, very eager to learn and take that extra support classes or take the English or ESL classes, whatever it is that they need to do to help them be academically successful. And if for some reason they're not, we have interventions in place to help them to maybe take a step back and participate in the extra support that maybe they didn't know that it existed because maybe from whatever country they're from, it didn't exist. But we want
Mhm.
to let them know that here at IVC, we're here to support them and we want to make sure that they have the extra support that they need.
Amazing. And do you mind sharing what the college life is like for a student and also comparing with like a university as well? Is it very different or what is it like?
I would say it's very similar in my opinion as somebody I'm a graduate of a community college myself and
Mm.
somebody that has transferred out to university. So I would say that it's very similar, just that the universities, unless they're going to a small private one, the Cal States and the UCs are much more bigger.
Mm-mm.
So it is again preparing them, I feel, for that good transition to go into that university if that's the route that they're going, so
Mm.
that they are prepared for that just at a bigger campus level,
Okay.
right? With bigger classrooms. and costs being higher. That's really the only the difference that I can see, and
Yeah.
obviously location.
Amazing. I mean, talking about location, and also there's a lot of colleges as well, but for Irvine Valley as well, is there any particular universities as a lot of international students tend to transfer to or would want to transfer to?
I feel like for our students in particular, it's UCI just because we're so close.
Mm,
It's like about 10 minutes from here. So a lot of our students do want to go to UCI, but a lot of them, want to go away a little bit farther, like UCLA, UC Berkeley. I find that students want to go all over the place, just like our traditional students.
mm,
So I would say that they can be just as competitive as anywhere else, and we want to help them transition to wherever it is that they want to go.
I mean, with your experience, what do you think university actually look for in a transfer student? How are they able to transfer and compete with other transfer students, really?
So I would say they're looking, of course, for a GPA, depending on how competitive the university that there is that they're applying to, as well as any major prep. Because some universities, depending on how impacted that major it is that they want to go into, they're looking to see have they completed that major prep and then what their grades are. And in particular, for the UCs, they're looking for that holistic student. They don't want them just
Mm,
to be focused on their academics. They want to know if they're participating in clubs, if they're volunteering, or have that job or whatever their story is. So because it's believe it or not, a lot of students from all over the world maybe are applying to not maybe are applying to like
mm,
UCI, UCLA, UC Berkeley, and they all have 4.0s.
mm.
So what's going to set them apart is I think their overall story and what they're doing outside of their academics.
Amazing. Actually, can you talk a little bit about that? Because for international students, well, Asians really, we always focus on academics only, especially in high schools, get the best grades, and then you'll definitely get into one of the top universities. But I feel like that's not really the case anymore, is it?
Yeah, no, because again, there's students applying from all over the world,
Mm,
and a lot of students have a 4.0.
mm,
So it's like, what are you doing, with your community or with your high school or with the college? Are you participating in that club? Did you create the club? Are you working? Are you volunteering? So it's much more to it aside from the academics, even though the academics are important.
mm. I mean, with more students choosing the transfer route, I would say, and accumulating it over the years, do you feel that's actually becoming more and more competitive for transfer students to get into top universities?
In my experience, as somebody that's been in the community college world for over 30 years, I feel like it's always been competitive and it remains to be
Oh.
competitive. Just that I feel like in more recent years, the state of California has tried to put in programs to help students transition,
Mm,
should I say, easier into the universities as long as they follow the program set out. For example, we have 23 California state universities in California. And so it's only been maybe it's about 7 years now, give or take,
mm,
that the state of California has has mandated community colleges to implement what we call for transfer degrees.
okay.
So let's just say a student majors in psychology. We have a psychology degree, but we also have what's called a psychology for transfer degree.
Mm,
So that's really geared for students that know that they want to transfer to university. And so the way that works is if they get that particular degree, when they apply to the university, let's just say they only apply to Cal State Fullerton because that's our closest Cal State university to us. If they only apply to that one university, and if for whatever reason they didn't make it into that university automatically has to reroute their application to one of the other 22 Cal States in California and somebody
oh,
has to take them. So they are actually guaranteed a spot into a Cal State University.
mm,
Now, the one they get accepted to may or may not, they may not want to go there. That's like a different story, but they automatically give themselves a backup plan by doing that.
mm.
Plus, when they apply to the university, that university is going to give them a point 0.1 bump in GPA.
Oh,
So let's just say they needed a 3.4 to get into Cal State Fullerton, but they only had a 3.3. But because they got that for a transfer degree, they now have that 3.4 GPA, which could make the difference between them getting in or not getting in. Aside from them, automatically being rerouted if they don't get in. Plus, the Cal States are actually gonna look at those students' applications first over somebody that doesn't have, let's say, a for transfer verbiage at the end of
mm,
their degree. Now that's for the Cal States, and then for the UCs, there's something called TAG, which stands for Transfer Admission Guarantee. That's for the UCs. So with the UCs, they're actually guaranteed admission into that particular UC. Um, so you may or may not know there's 10 UCs in
Mm-hmm.
California. Of the 10 UCs, 6 UCs allow tag.
Oh,
But the UCs, the tricky part is that the UCs that do allow tag, not all majors are taggable. For example,
oh,
UCI again is our top
mm,
UC because of
mm,
our location. A lot of our students are interested in computer science.
mm.
So unfortunately,
Oh,
UCI
wow.
is a taggable school, but computer science is not one of the taggable majors. So of
Mhm.
course they could still apply there. Um, it just couldn't be for computer science. But let's just say they're okay with going farther. They want to do UC Riverside, which is still they can still commute there if they really needed to or wanted to. Um, if they met the recurrent requirements, major prep, usually GPA is a 3.4 for most taggable majors. If they met that requirement, they're guaranteed a spot into UC Riverside.
Oh, is there any reasons why some programs are not taggable? Is it because it's popular? They're like,
Yes, yes, because the UCs that you can't tag to for none of the majors is UCLA, UC Berkeley, and UC San
oh,
Diego.
wow.
So that's telling you that those universities are super popular, right?
Yeah.
They're getting way more students that
Mm,
are applying than they can actually accept. So no major is taggable at those three
yeah.
UCs. So yeah.
It's super competitive. Then in terms of actually transferring and competing applications, because they have so many students, especially international students, they would want to aim at those top universities as well. Would you know, like in terms of applying, like if I'm an international student, I go through a transfer program, am I competing with other international students from overseas, or am I just competing with other transfer students within the state or within just the US?
No, without the throughout the world. That's what I was saying. Like it's a lot.
Uh-huh.
A lot of students can get a 4.0.
Yeah.
You're not just competing with your local area, you're not just competing within your own state. Like there's students from all
Oh.
over the world that are applying to the same universities.
Oh, so it's not like a different line, like domestic is their own line, international is their own line, transfer programs have their own line of competition, which category to admit. So just everyone competing at the same time.
Yes, when it
Oh,
comes to the
wow.
universities.
Mm.
I guess there could be some
Mm.
universities
But the popular ones,
that are
probably.
maybe, really wanting those
Mm.
international students for whatever the reasons are. I just can't think of one off the top of my head that's
Yeah.
actually specifically having a different separate
Mm.
line or criteria for them.
But the top ones definitely will mix them together.
Yes.
Wow. Then what advice would you give for international students who want to aim at UCLA, UC Berkeley, and every top university in the US? How should they prepare themselves to compete with everyone?
Right. It's
And
definitely being on their A game, right?
mm,
But not only that, like be involved, create your own club or participate in the club. Try to get that work experience, even if it's on a volunteer basis, just so that it looks like you're that well rounded student and not just somebody
mm.
that's just only focusing on your academics.
But then looking at it like from like a wider perspective, a lot of students feel like, okay, I need to join a club, I need to create a club, I need to go. It feels like in a way the concept is every student is the same. They will join some sort of club, they will join some sort of extracurricular and beyond studies. Wouldn't that make them in a way still kind of similar?
Well, you would think that a lot of students would automatically do that, but a lot of students don't automatically
Oh,
do that.
really?
Yeah, for what I mean, because for some students, you have to think about it now. School doesn't always come easy to everybody. So in order for them
Mm,
to get that A, maybe they don't have time to join that club or maybe they
mm,
don't have time to volunteer. So all they can do is focus on their academics, which,
mm,
I don't blame them. Or maybe they're just like super shy and it's really
mm.
hard for them to join a club or
Yeah.
do anything, extra. So I think everybody's not doing the same thing. A lot of students are, but not everybody is.
Mm-hmm.
But then I also think too, okay, what's your personal story? Maybe there's a
Mm,
really reason why you don't have time to participate in that club.
mm,
Like maybe you have to be like that babysitter for your little brother or sister
mm.
or whatever the story is. Everybody has a different story. So I think that that matters and it comes into play when you have that time to write your essay to the UCs.
Have you had a one where a student actually haven't participated on a lot of clubs or any extracurricular, but there is a reason behind it, and then still successfully went into a university, like a top university, or just any really?
I'm sure there is. I just can't think of one
You've
top of
helped too
my
many.
head because, well, the thing is because a lot of oftentimes when we help students they transfer and they move on, and then we
Mm,
don't see them again.
mm,
We do have a transfer center here on campus, which I'm sure I'm pretty sure they've come back and spoken to the transfer center about
Mm-mm.
where they ended up at or like what happened. Um, much more than our students coming back to the International Student Center.
Mm.
I'm not saying that they don't, but I just can't think of something off the top of my head right now.
That's okay.
Um, but I'm sure it happens.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. And finally, I'm not sure what the time is, but I feel like my arm's a bit numb now. I think we're getting the time. But finally, for students really choosing between which area to study, I mean, destination-wise, why should students choose the US in your opinion?
Because the US is the best. I would just say you have, from my experience, it seems like you have the most opportunity
Mm.
for wherever it is that you want to go, for wherever it is that what you want to do. We tend to be a very accepting
Mhm.
culture, in some states more than others. So that's why I would say to come to the US. And we do have a lot of support for students if they ask for it.
Amazing.
Or if we see it, we'll tend to offer it up to
Yeah.
students. But we're definitely here to help and we're accepting of anybody and all.
Wonderful. Just a little bit deeper as well. Why California or why IVC compared to other colleges or maybe other states, really?
I think in particular of California, when I was just mentioning there's some states more than other or
Mm.
that are accepting of everybody and all.
Mm.
California is definitely one of
Mm.
those states, and I'm a Cali girl. I've lived in California all my life, so
Wow.
I don't see myself going anywhere. So I'm definitely gonna. I stay here for a reason,
Mm.
and I think it did give me the opportunities that I needed to achieve academically, more than I would have ever dreamed of, especially growing up as a little girl, even though I was from this country.
Mm.
So I can only imagine, and I see how it gives anybody else that wants to give it a chance.
Amazing. And finally, why IVC compared to other colleges as well?
Because especially if you want to transfer, we have the highest transfer rates.
Mm.
So if you're looking to get in and get out, we will help you do that. And if it's your choice, if you want to just come for a certificate or degree, whatever the case may be, we're here to help and we're happy to do it.
Amazing. Thank you very much for your time today. All right, over to the audience. Thank you, everyone, for watching this episode's DADI SOS. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us or the college, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much again.
Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you.